My yinge, something make me laugh, ha, ha, hey.
Me I go married to you, Auntie Tuma.
Me I go married to you, Auntie Tuma. Hello and welcome. What does story say? I'm your host, Dr. Pauline Baird, cultural bearer from the village of Buxton, Guyana. I like to tell our family histories, our whispered stories, our practiced, hidden, lost, and sometimes forgotten traditions. And as we say in my village, what the story say? I come in, I sit down. I got story for y'all. But you know, a lot of you are asking where I am and so on. We have new viewers and things like that. Welcome. I am Guyanese and I live in Japan. I work here as a professor. I teach junior engineers. So I like to bring you these stories to keep myself attuned to home and the things that matter to me. Because you see, there's a reason for understanding history. Your particular history, because when you understand your history, you know where you came from and you're able to bridge that future right now. So we get into it. But before that, I want to show you what's happening outside. What does outside look like in Japan? So I'm going to pull the curtain for my room. This is in the loft, and this is what I see when I wake up in the morning. Give me a minute here. Push this back here, and I'm going to turn this camera, and that's the view of the mountains. But I wake up to that in the morning, and there's a river below, and according to my Egyptian friend, it's talking every day, and that's where I see the monkeys doing their shenanigans right at the cliff line. So let's talk. What's all this English you are saying? Loud talk story. When me been a little girl a village, me see plenty thing a road. Me see dog a road, they call it stray dog, Rex and Rover. Me see drunk man a road. You know them by name. You see mad man a road. You see muggy all a road, muggy walk fast, so. God rest the dead, muggy pass. You see little town a road, you ride bicycle and run. But the strangest thing me ever see a village, a house, a road. Are you ever see house, a road? That's what I talk about today. In Guyana, back in the day, there was a tradition of moving houses. You carry your house down the road pan cart, or truck back, or tractor back, or something. I was so little that I don't remember what this house was on, but I saw a little bungalow, wooden house, being transported down Friendship Road, somewhere near around Snake Old House, and then Braffit area. Right there, I see this house a move. It was quite a phenomenon because school dismissed and all the little picnic watch. I think I remember that they had logs on the ground. I don't know if it's imagination or what, but I think I remember they had logs like lantern posts. And they had this house down on this log, and they're rolling this thing to get this house out the yard. And then, of course, you get them rickety bridge. I don't even remember how this house get off the land and across the bridge. And, you know, the bridge goes over a trench. For those of you who don't know Guyana, and my village Buxton, it was a plantation, so it's bridges all the way down. It's the canal all the way down. And I saw this thing at Friendship. Y'all ever see that? The young people nowadays don't know a thing but moving a house. But I heard in Antigua, they still move houses on the back of flatbed trucks or something like that. The Antiguans are come in their house. Bajans, y'all just move house like that. I hear in Canada, modern day Canada, they're moving big old house. When I was a kid, that was a thing. I only saw it once. But this week, I've been thinking about homes and how creatures and people operate with homes. I started thinking back to when I lived in a place called Palau, and they have modest homes made of wood and so on. I'd never seen a house moved that way. But I remember being on a beach, lovely beaches. They have their, ocean is pristine. You got these rock islands, mushroom out of the ocean and look like broccoli. I'd been on a beach and we saw crabs, and they were hermit crabs. And we would, catch the hermit crabs and line them up and try to race them, But that thought made me consider how we make homes, how creatures make home. And some creatures carry their homes with them. And here I'm thinking about the village. In that context, how do people carry home? Because a lot of times we think of homes as places to live in or places to live in, but we don't think of a home as a moving thing, except you're in the modern day era where they get tiny house. Talk about that on a side. Me and take God out my thoughts and tell my sister if she not go want buy one tiny house. She said, girl, me not live a latrine. The boss laugh. But house a move America like that. This whole new trend. But I'm going back to the village where they were moving houses. And I wondered why people moved houses. Well, it could be that they bought a piece of land. It could be that they have family disputes and they got to move off the whole house off the land. It could be people sell the land and the house is not a part of the sale and you got to move your house. But they moved the house. Back in the day, most houses were built with wood. Whether it's green heart, Wallaba, purple heart, whatever else they got. Because Guyana produces wood, so it was good. And they had, tin roof houses. Sometimes people had slates on their houses. I don't know if they moved that kind, but slates are pretty heavy. So they would move a house. Sometimes people live on family land and there are disputes. This children property thing, and houses got to move. Did your family ever move a house? Talk the thing. I was talking story, Now you want to talk, I got to talk. Yes. And so houses were moved. And I wanted to know how they did it. I remember the builders in my day, when I was a little girl. Bull Rat was one of them. And Spike Nail was one. I remember Mr. Primo. And I remember Mr. Robinson, right by San Butasi used to live, near Porcy area. Those were the people who were carpenters and contractors. And I'm wondering to myself, if any of you remember the chants or the rituals that they used to do when they move house. I remember that there were lots of men. I don't remember women. So I asked a friend of mine if she knows anything about moving house and what is it they used to chant, because workers chanted, and I remember these people were doing something or saying something, but I couldn't remember. So I asked my friend to give me information to jog my memory, and this is what she said. Yeah, listen.
I witnessed a house getting moved at Buxton Front, and they would say, this house, and then the men would push, and then they would say again, is a willing house, and then they would push, and then they would say it again, this house, push, is a willing house, push. That's what I witnessed. Okay.
Good. So imagine a bunch of men, or a group of men, in some yard with some little house. Because back in the day, they had big houses, but the houses that were moved are bungalows. And in Guyana, at the time when I was growing up, they didn't have too many two-story houses. Most were one flat houses on stilts off the ground. Not too many cement houses. So if you put this thing in context of history, there's something that's missing in our history or that has changed. The houses can't be moved like they could have been moved in times past. So imagine the rhythm. This house is a willing house. Them burly man, this house is a willing house. This house is a willing house, and they push it. Imagine that. But I don't know the sound because this girl here ain't telling me the music of the thing. So we got to get our little imagination. If she tells me tomorrow, I'm going to sing it for y'all or chant it for y'all. But that's one. Y'all know any like that? Call your grandmother, call your great aunt, call your nene and ask them on what they used to say. Well, when I on a roll with this research thing, I just be a discontented Bostonian. So I said, who is the oldest Bostonian I know who can tell me this story? Well, the oldest Bostonian I know is my cousin Vadney, but she 112, but I can't talk to she. So I decided to apply to Baba AUC Guyana to pick his brain, you know. Baba AUC got bouncing 98 soon, you know. Yes. And he loves to educate us, and he's a whole lot of humor. So I asked Kofi Guyana to ask his dad to remember what they were saying, and Kofi gave me an audio. So I'm going to play it, and I'm going to try to sing it, and I want y'all learn it, because let me tell y'all something. This thing na English, all of it na English. Roots there inside it. I listen.
My yinge, something make me laugh, ha ha. My yinge, something make me laugh, ha ha. Me I go married to you, auntie Tuma, draw. My yinge, something make me laugh, ha ha. My yinge, something make me laugh, ha ha.
Me go married to your auntie, Tuma, dra. So, apparently in Baba AUC Guyana's day, they used to move houses, and that's the song they used to sing. They get into that rhythm, and when the men ready to push, they say, dra. Can you imagine some big strong man going, dra? Yes. This song, my yinge, that an African language, people? I mean another language? Sounds like African tongue to me, a tongue I don't have. And I am just learning these words, but they're music to my ears. What about our language, this lost language, that we can get it back from Baba AUC Guyana to his son, to me, to you, and we can all sing my yinge. And then we have the Creolese coming in, a mixture of our languages and codes involved, and work songs. Imagine the movement and the benefits of work songs, togetherness and achieving something. And we're singing this song, and I wish I could find out what's the whole business with tomorrow, me marry me auntie. Not tomorrow, not tomorrow. Tomorrow. Look at that language, you know? I don't want to get into the linguistics of this or what's happening on the ends of those words, but yes, it's music to my ears. Thank you so much, Baba AUC Guyana, for bringing this sound to our ears. Now we sing this song, my yinge, something make me laugh, ha ha. I listen to the tune, man, follow the thing. Yes, it's nice. Yes. Do you know any songs that they sang? Bring it on. Let's talk the story. Listen, people, and let me want to talk. I got to talk the story, so I comment and talk about why I know. All right. So I wasn't done with this research yet. I came to the conclusion that when we learn things about simple things like moving houses, we get to understand that each of us is a piece of a puzzle. And we're born into unique circumstances with complex combinations that make up our heritage. Whether or not we're aware of our ancestors or not, we carry certain things within us that they gave us, the trials that they went through, the cultural history that they experienced. But knowing our family histories and reflecting upon them brings this life we live into larger view. So we can understand this complex history and know that the drama that we live is not the only drama that there is or there was. Researching our heritage also helps us to prepare to meet the future and meet other people who carry similar cultures. And so I met a friend from the Philippines, and we had a talk about moving house. It gave me insight into what makes us who we are. You see, our character traits are developed based on the beliefs and the foundations and the worldviews we carry. And the knowledge we gain from looking at our history helps us to appreciate the life we have. When I talk about bridging the past and the future, we can appreciate the life we have now. And some of the things our ancestors or countrymen went through builds character. So when you're moving house, it's building character, it's showing work ethic, it's showing community spirit, and all these different things. Remember, villages like mine was purchased by formerly enslaved Africans, so we have a rich heritage. But what if you didn't come from an enslaved background or that kind of thing? What does moving house mean? Let's talk to my friend from the Philippines, Domisan, and he will give us some insight into his culture. So thank you, Domisan, and people, please show him the love. And here we go. Let's listen to what he has to say. Can you tell us your name?
So yes, my name is Domison, and I'm from the Philippines.
Okay, good. So I asked you here because I want you to talk to us about this business of moving a house
Yes.
in your country or village or province. Tell us
Yeah.
that story. What happens? How is it done? I'm really curious.
Yeah, so Filipinos, we have this culture called bayanihan.
Bayanihan.
Bayanihan, yes. So let me say that more clearly. It's bayanihan. And it comes from the root word bayani, meaning hero. So bayanihan is actually about people coming together and doing one act of heroism to help their community, to help their peers, to help someone achieve their goals. Yeah.
So it can be done with anything,
Yes,
like
it-
money or services.
Yeah. I think that's a good cue for me to give some examples. So I think the traditional way of people doing bayanihan is so way back. Filipinos build houses out of bamboo, and it's a light material for a house. And the Philippines being a disaster-prone country, people would have to move their houses to be safe from flood, to be safe from being hit by the typhoon or something. And what they would do, I've never tried it.
Okay.
But what I would see people do is they would carry the house, like all of them come together, they'd uproot the house. It magically gets uprooted. Then they carry it all together from one place to another.
So, Domisan,
Yeah.
how big are these houses?
A typical Filipino house are bungalow
Okay.
houses, and I would say maybe around. I've seen a house being carried about maybe 7 meters by 7 meters.
Wow. Okay.
So it's quite big in the area,
Yeah.
but it's not very high.
Hi. Okay. Good. So men carry it, men and women. Who carry this house?
I've only seen it once. I think I was I was in elementary school back then, and I've seen only men do it. Only the fathers, the uncles, the grandfathers of the village would come together, just like in Japan. I see in festivals, usually in festivals, men usually come together and build the floats, carry it,
Right.
yeah, it's essentially that's essentially how it looks like.
Right.
Yeah.
Do they have any kind of songs or chants they do when they take up the house and when they're carrying the house?
I think that's a good question. Very interesting. I think it would be nice if they had a chant as they do it to make the to set up a vibe and make the work lighter. I've never heard them sing songs or do chants though, but I think a lot of the uncles would like just blurt out some jokes, and yeah, it would make the vibe just amazing.
Okay, so they have a lot of camaraderie, and so
Yeah.
how about eating and drinking?
I would say maybe people would do it afterwards.
Okay.
I've never seen them like do the drinking afterwards or beforehand, but like thinking about the Filipino culture, every time there's an occasion, uncles would gather like in one area, sit in a big circle, pass on beer with just one glass,
Yeah.
and talk nonstop until maybe around 1 in the morning.
Yeah. We have similar cultures. I know when there's any building of homes and so on, men like to drink. The builders and the people who come to help, they like to drink. They have to get their brown liquor, and they have to have their clear liquor, white rum, and they would pour on the ground.
Homemade liquor.
Yeah. Sometimes they get commercial liquor.
Yeah.
They pour on the ground for libation. That means that they toast the ancestors like that. But it's an occasion for men to drink and tell stories and, be bawdy or whatever it is.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to recall how it's done in our village. And I'll tell that story to you. But when I was a child, I saw people move homes. Our homes are not bamboo homes. This is like solid wood.
Oh, wow.
Green heart and other kinds of Guyanese wood.
Yeah.
So it would be a heavy house, but the houses were not that big. So it was possible to move. And their homes, people move homes also in the Caribbean, different Caribbean islands.
Yeah.
I understand they're still moving homes.
Oh,
Up to this day.
Wow.
Yeah, they move homes. And the big challenge for moving homes in our village is because most of the homes are accessed by bridges. You have to cross canals or trenches.
I see.
For you, it might be a river, but it's a trench, a deep canal, maybe 40 foot, I don't know, wide or less. And they have bridges across them. And these bridges are not like sturdy bridges. They're like what I call a London
Bridge.
Yeah, London Bridge. So it's a pretty big challenge, I think. So thank you so much for this story. We have things in common.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
people
amazing.
move homes.
Yeah, it's an amazing sight to see.
Yes.
It's sad though that in the present times, Filipino houses being made out of concrete, we can't do it anymore.
Right.
But the Bayanihan spirit is being transferred to different fields, when there are disasters, people come together to help each other. And I think it's deeply rooted in our resilience as a community as well. Us going through at least 20 typhoons in 1 year, people come together to help each other.
I like that. So if they're not moving homes, where does the camaraderie go?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it's transferred to different things. And the Bayanian spirit still lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So special thanks, Baba Eyusi Guyana, Kofi Guyana, my friend Colleen, and Domi-san, and all the other people who gave me ideas. All right. I like to have you here. I do enjoy your company and your comments and so on. And some of you I know all the way from back home in the village. So I'm always very happy to hear your comments. I feel the love and it's given right back to you. At the end of this, if you like these programs and these kinds of things that I'm talking about or stories, you can subscribe on YouTube, you can follow on Facebook, and share it like food. Thank you very much and walk good.
Something make me laugh, my yingy, my yingy, yingy. Something make me laugh,
Hey. My yingy, yingy. Something make me laugh, ha ha. My yingy, yingy. Something make me laugh, ha ha. Hey.
Me I go married to you, Auntie Tuma.
Me I go married to you, Auntie Tuma.
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 Dra.
Dry.